All right, finally, we have part 3 of how I created this nail art. So I started with Gelish soft gel system. You can see that in part 1 of my video of how I applied that. Then in part 2, you can see the finished product and just how I laid my gel polish on for this foundation to start this design. Some of the things, again, that I noticed with Gelish system, again, turning the light on before you adjust your nail is key, in my opinion. Putting on their gel adhesive into the well of the fake nail was key for them. Their lamp was 45 seconds. So some products you're going to see 30-second curing, 60-second curing. This system is 45 seconds. It is very important that you try to use the same lamp that is suggested for each system. So now, I tried a different strategy on this particular nail. I put down the rhinestone before I did my acrylic flowers, and I saw another girl do that, and I was like, okay, let me try and see how I like it. I usually do my flowers first and then put the rhinestones over top of that. I don't think I'm going to put rhinestones down first ever again, because I felt like I had less area to create my flowers and was fighting for space to create my flowers. And I do apologize. I can see, once I watched this video, I saw that it's really hard for you guys to see the flowers that I created and how I created them, because I'm using a white polish with a white acrylic, so that made it really hard to see visually. But basically, I have a acrylic art brush, which is a smaller brush. It was not you guys help me pronounce that brush, Kolinsky. It was not a Kolinsky brush. So the bristles were a little harder to work with, and I probably should have had some brush cleaner out. Still learning how to, get the right amount of product on the brush, making sure it's frothy white before I pick up the product. Now, again, I haven't made acrylic designs since I was a teenager. What I do remember doing, I feel like I remember having a little more liquid to powder when I made the flowers. I didn't use the same, what's the word I want to use? I didn't use the same formula when I was making my acrylic art designs. I think I used a little more liquid to powder ratio. But at any rate, for my first time or third time in the last 2 weeks doing these flowers in a long time, I think I did a great job. I went with a more round flower for this one. And if you look at my previous videos, I went with a more pointy flower when I was practicing. So now, when I create the leaves, I try to use a smaller, different brush. And then I'm making my leaves a little more pointy than my flower petals, so that you can distinguish between the flowers and the petals. And then I went in with my orange wood stick just to give those petals some texture, again, so that you can tell the difference between the petals and the leaves. I went in and made the leaves have a little more texture with my orange wood stick. Okay. Now, this brush that I'm using for my 3D nail art is from Model Ones. I will put the link in my comments. You just flash it, and then, you'll have a picture, and then you can cut and paste the link and put it in Amazon. So again, I'm just adding definition to those flower petals, patting the middle, and then spreading out the petals how I like it. With the leaves, I create more of like a rounded off triangle, and then texture with the orange wood stick. I'm going to use my Savvy Land baby blue, a green, and a pink to color over my flowers. With my left hand, I did a pink flower. On my right hand, you're going to see I did a blue flower. My hands are not the same. The designs are different and they alternate. I think the only fingers that are the same is kind of the forefinger and the middle finger. So I just want to lightly brush over. I'm lightly going over the petals with my gel paints because I don't want to lose my detail with too much paint over top. So just a light brushing over top of the leaves and the petals so that I don't lose the definition and the detail that I made with the acrylic. I'm flash curing in between colors so I don't bleed colors onto each other. And if you make a mistake and you get too much color on places where you don't want it, remember alcohol is your friend and alcohol will clean off those areas where you might have put paint that you didn't want it. But of course you have to make sure it's before you cure the colors. Alcohol is your friend for your cleaning up your cuticle area from any paint or anything before you flash cure, of course that is. I also want to apologize, guys. I do not know how to add music in between when I do voiceover. It's been a challenge. Anyone wants to give me some tips in the comment section or in my inbox on how to have music in between my editing. I get it for when it's less than a minute, but when it's over a minute, I don't understand how to do it. So any help with that would be greatly appreciated. So now I'm doing my right hand and I am right-handed. So please keep in mind that it's harder to do this now and it's not going to be as neat as my left hand. To be honest, I really did end up liking the flower on my right hand more. So it just depends. It's harder to manipulate product. It's just, but I honestly think this is one of my better sets where I did pretty well on my right hand and the right hand looks just as good as the left. It was definitely harder to do the French on my pinky on my right hand. So I'm going in, I'm coloring those leaves. This flower is baby blue on my right hand. The flower on my left hand is pink. That pink Savalan really matched the Gelish that came with my Gelish soft gel kit, if you guys notice. And I really didn't want it to match. I think if you look at my previous videos, the practice flowers that I did was a different color, but somehow this time I picked up a color that was like identical. I apologize for my son yelling in the background. Some days I think he just does whatever he can to irritate me. Oh God, he should be asleep. So again, I'm curing in between changing colors. And then I felt like, okay, this is a stiletto shape. Then I looked at the top of the stiletto. I tried to put some acrylic flowers at the top of the stiletto, and I was just like, I didn't like it. So I took it off. I find that, when you want to do multiple flowers, stiletto is just not it. You really want to use a square or coffin nail when you want to do multiple acrylic flowers or a hole and a half. So I just went ahead and did some old school dotted flowers. So you're going to see me go in with my dotting tool and just put some dots at the top. And for the leaves, I just start with a dot and then just kind of move that dot out to look like more of a rounded off triangle instead of a dot. And then to finish it off, I put on rhinestones. So guys, I will be linking my press-on nail website brought to you by Square. Make sure you check out my Square link to start your own business. And these will be a part of my press-on nails that I will be selling. So make sure you check out that link and inbox me if you want a different variation. I'll talk to you guys later.